So I've been noticing a small resurgence in Transformers media lately. Not only did Rise of the Beasts came and went last year, and damn, already a year ago? TransformersOne is around the corner, which I am actually very excited to see.
Yeah, boy.
Then Overwatch randomly announcing a collab with Transformers. Like, first Cowboy Bebop, now Transformers? I mean, the animated trailer for it looks pretty cool. And didn't they announce that new Transformers game recently? Galactic Trials? Yeah, sounds about right. Oh. Okay. Damn, well, I hope it's good. Come to think of it, we haven't had a good Transformers game since Devastation, I think. Wait, when did Devastation come out again? That was 10 years ago?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
So as I patiently wait for, hopefully, a remaster or revival of War and Fall of Cybertron, and for Reactivate to come out since it does look promising, and keeping my optimism and hype for TransformersOne in check. And since I do love me some Transformers, and the franchise has reached its 40th anniversary this year, I thought it'd be fun and interesting to revisit and talk about the best Transformers media that exists today. Not that one. Nope. Definitely not these. Transformers Prime, baby. Now, in my opinion, Transformers Prime is not only the best Transformers thing out there, but also one of the best animated shows of all time. It's come to a point where it's been 14 years since the show came out, and I still can't shut up about it. If you knew me in person, or even ask my homies, they would tell you that I talk about the show a lot. And before I continue, I do want to get this out of the way. I do like Beast Wars, but for me, the show is really, really funny, and I can't take it seriously. I mean, come on. Look at this.
Trap maximize! Well, you better hope so. For your sake. Excuse me. Are you implying...
What's wrong? Wild bean vines. Hard to digest. No, not that.
But Megatron in that show is the best character in Beast Wars and Beast Machines. Easily.
Oh, I like you, pussycat. Yes. 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 Yes.
And I grew up with animated, and I like animated. It was very different, and it had a very different take on Optimus, which I liked, but in my humble opinion, it doesn't come close to Prime. Prime does everything right. The characterizations are perfect. The storylines are very engaging and dramatic. There are scenes that are straight up out of pocket hilarious.
Hey guys, look what I found.
We're busy!
An Autobot.
Please don't call me Doc.
Whatever you say, sunshine.
Normal? You sure about that?
We were just calibrating the subsystems and we had a surge. But it's fine now. How are you?
And the fights are so badass and some of the best animated fights I've ever seen, period. And for once, human characters are actually tolerable, for the most part. But what really stands out to me is that these versions of the characters are genuinely the best they could probably ever be, to the point that they really don't feel like characters. They feel like people. Like, Knockout is one of the best characters of this show. He has so much personality, and he's really hilarious.
Aim for the head!
What? How do you know?
I have seen human horror films!
Careful, Starscream. You may dislocate a landing gear patting yourself on the back. A case for showing mercy, Lord Starscream.
Uh-oh. Does this thing have a fast-forward button? Or better yet, erase?
And to my knowledge, he didn't exist until this show. And I heard he's coming back and reactivate.
Oh boy, yeah.
And in my opinion, Transformers Prime Optimus is the best version of this character. I know everyone loves Optimus from the movies, and yeah, he's really badass and inspiring, but to be honest, he's low-key crazy. Like he always says,
I'll kill you! I'll kill you! Stay back! I'll kill you! We will kill them all. You betrayed yourself. No, Optimus! Time to find out.
Hey, yo. Holy shit.
That was really bad.
If anything, he low-key reminds me of Guts. They both had their comrades killed. Both betrayed. Both get their inner demons taking over them. They're both damaged and exhausted. And to top it off, they both have a giant sword. Now I know this is a stretch. I know. But I don't know, I can't help but think about this comparison. And I love G1 Optimus, but he's too goofy. And I like Optimus when he's goofy, but he doesn't really feel like a leader of a war faction. He feels more of a father who says dad jokes a lot and occasionally kicks Decepticons' asses. Transformers Prime Optimus, on the other hand, is him. One of my favorite Peter Cullen quotes on the character is this.
And so I said, but Larry, he's evidently he's a hero truck. He's a hero. And his face got somber and he said, Peter, if you're going to be a hero, be a real hero. Don't be a Hollywood hero type with all the BS and all the yelling and screaming and trying to be tough. Be strong enough to be gentle. Okay, Larry, yeah.
And Prime Optimus is this. He always tries to reason and talk to his enemies before he engages in battle, because to him, fighting is a last resort. He really cares for each Autobot and human in his team, always risking his life for them. He's fatherly, but he's also an overall great leader. And I could totally see how he's the leader of the Autobot faction, and how Smokescreen is inspired and hyped to be around him.
I don't believe it! You're Optimus Prime! He's Optimus Prime!
We know.
Yes.
Also, his design is so fucking good. And I actually prefer Seasons 1 and 2 design over his Season 3 design. I think he looks too bulky, but hey, that's just me. But the jetpack is badass. But I'd say out of everyone, my favorite character in this show, by far, is Megatron. Megatron here is so fucking badass, and he's the best version of this character, easily, even down to his design.
Decepticons, your rightful lord and master has returned.
Whoa! Shit!
Like, G1 Megatron is iconic. But I feel he's too one-note, and he's honestly more of a mustache-twirling villain.
Conquer the universe!
Animated Megatron is really badass, but his motivations don't really run deep with his character. This version, he was a gladiator revolutionary who fought the injustice of the caste system and corruption of Cybertron, because he was a slave in the mines that were killing him and his comrades. So he literally had to fight in the pits, risk his life every day, to even have a name. And you could still see how he shows himself as a warrior. You can see it when he boasts about it and when he fights in the show.
You and your beast would do well to remember. I hone my skills in the pits of Kaon. Let that be a warning to anyone who dares cross the gladiator of Kaon.
But he genuinely had good intentions and just had enough with the impression of his people until he snapped. There's actually a really good video by Emperor Kumquat. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced their name. When they talk about the start of the war and how Megatron started the Decepticon cause. It's really interesting and recontextualizes the war. Definitely check it out, it's really interesting. He's violent, smart, cunning, diabolical, and he's honestly terrifying. Because not only does he crush Bumblebee's vocal cords to make him mute forever, but he literally gets addicted to space crack, stabs himself with it, raises undead warriors to destroy the Autobots and Earth, shoots a human, gets in Bumblebee's mind, tries to cyberform Earth on many occasions. Then when Optimus acquires the Starsaber, he literally slices off his arm, replaces it with a Prime's arm from a dead corpse, just so he could wield his own Starsaber.
What? Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that!
Like, that's insane, my guy. And what was crazy was that literally after having this insane battle of Optimus, and by the way, this fight goes hard.
I could not have allowed this to end otherwise. Could not have allowed this to end otherwise.
Literally, like a day later, Megatron is like, "Hey, so you know how I tried to kill you many times so I could revive Unicron? Yeah, about that. Fuck Unicron. So you want to team up?" And he does. He literally goes into the Autobot base. And as a kid, this shit was insane, my guy. I love how deep Megatron and Optimus' rivalry is. Like before, Optimus would try to reason with him, but now it's the point that he's done with Megatron's shit. When they both team up and fight Unicron's cells, not only is it badass, but you can see how close they were before the war. Which is why I'm very excited to see this be shown in TransformersOne. From Ratchet telling us about their past, you can see how tragic it is that they generally were friends before the war, until, well, the war. I think Season 1 has one of the best cliffhangers in television history, with Optimus using all of the Matrix to defeat Unicron. He loses his memory, and literally in seconds, Megatron takes that opportunity to trick him and makes him a Decepticon. Like, that's fucking crazy, man. And although Megatron is using Orion Pax, he talks to him with the most respect out of anyone aboard the ship. One of the best parts of this show is when Megatron fights the whole Autobot team as Jack gives Optimus the Matrix back, and how Optimus retains his memories and beats the absolute shit out of Megatron. I just love how panicked Megatron looks here. Like, look at his face.
No!
But even though Megatron is my favorite character in this show, my favorite performance, by far, is Steve Blum as Starscream. His Starscream is perfect. He's a devious pain in the ass, who is way over his head, but can also kick ass when he needs to. Like, I'm not kidding, literally in the first 5 minutes of this show, he kills The Rock. In the first 5 minutes of this show. That's insane. And I really like Starscream's character journey in this show. He secretly wants to overthrow Megatron and tries to have him die a couple times while he was in stasis. Then Megatron finds out and tests Starscream's loyalty and even beats him up for it. He then helps the Autobots until RC finds out that he killed Cliffjumper. And there's really good tension that leaves Starscream a rogue Decepticon.
I have been a fool, made mistakes, monumental ones. But I have gained a clear understanding of my place in this universe, of who I am, Starscream. Aligned with no side, servant to no one.
Eventually, he truly becomes devoted to Megatron as they go into Starscream's mind, where this happens.
Starscream!
I can't hear you!
All hail Starscream!
One more time!
All hail Starscream!
This is going to be juicy.
All hail Starscream!
And he's genuinely hilarious.
Our crew is at risk.
Now, Agent Fowler and I will take our leave.
The evil says, yeah!
You cannot harm me while dark energon flows through my veins! Allow me to be crystal clear. I studied for millennia under our former master. Thus I am equipped to lead you. I, Megatron's true heir, Lord Starscream, Emperor of Destruction! What do you saw?
But Soundwave, in this show, was crazy. Not only did he always kick ass, create space bridges from himself, but he's the only Decepticon that Megatron truly respects. And he only says one line throughout the whole show, and it's this.
Soundwave superior. Autobots inferior.
Bro, you said it? Oh my.
Okay. The only thing I wish they did with Soundwave was have more of him, but also have his appearance be more like the G1 look. Like, I like this design, don't get me wrong, it's unique, but it just doesn't beat the original for me. Out of all Transformers characters, the character I'd say that has way better characterization than ever before is RC. Not only is she badass, and
She is very gorgeous to me!
but her character has been through a lot of shit. Her first partner, Tailgate, was brutally executed in front of her by Arachnid, which started their lifelong hatred for each other. And Cliffjumper, her second partner, was killed by Starscream. At the start of the show, We see her be closed off from everyone out of fear from losing someone again. And you really feel for her when you see her go through PTSD in this show, and she tries to seek revenge. This makes her connection to Jack very genuine, because at first, she didn't give a fuck about Jack. But now, to literally becoming partners and family. But out of all the characters, the one that really develops the most, I would say, is Ratchet. Ratchet starts off as someone who is low-key racially biased towards humans.
Please, isn't having 3 humans here enough?
Ratchet, what happened to Bumblebee's voice box?
Shut your bitch ass up!
To, in the end, actually treating them as family and willingly stays behind on Earth with them. Because at his core, he's homesick, and so he slowly warms up to our human characters, and he thinks that what he does isn't enough. He blames himself for not getting Bumblebee's voice back. And he's an older robot. He can't fight well anymore. Like the scene where Ratchet breaks down because Optimus was forced to destroy the Megalock. And you could really feel his pain and frustration during this scene.
Optimus destroyed the Omega Lock.
What? You did
what was necessary. There was no time for another prolonged battle, not with Earth in imminent danger.
So you destroyed the only device in any universe capable of restoring our home? Optimus, we needed that.
You weren't there, Doc. And it's not your place to second-guess a battlefield decision.
It most certainly is. There had to be another way.
It wasn't that simple, Ratchet.
Megatron was using the Omega Lock to attack the Earth.
Optimus saved our planet.
What about our planet? All of our struggles and energon spilled and countless sacrifices for nothing?
Another great moment is where Ratchet basically takes steroids to improve his physicality, and he goes off at Optimus for letting Megatron live.
You know your problem, Optimus? For such a big, strong bot, you're soft. You didn't pound Megatron into scrap when you had the chance! Many chances, in fact!
He was spitting. But he's also really hilarious, too. I really like his ongoing quirks throughout the show. They always make me laugh.
Hooah! Hooah! Hooah!
And how much to use?
Bulkhead, I needed that! I needed that! Bulkhead, I needed that! Bumblebee! I needed that! Bulkhead!
What? You needed that?
Surprisingly, the humans are actually pretty good in this show. I will admit that it did take me time to warm up to Miko, because at first she starts off as a reckless dumbass who always wants to be caught in the crossfire, but she actually does improve, and she becomes more tolerable and mature. Jack and Raph, they're pretty cool. Like, they both have their own shticks. Jack gets himself in bad situations, casually goes to Cybertron and brings Optimus his memory back, while Raph is the somehow really smart computer kid who gets shot by Megatron, lives, and beeps with Bumblebee. But by far, the best human character is Agent Fowler. This homie G is the most hilarious out of context character of the whole series.
You, soldier! You're out of uniform! Put on some pants!
That may be a challenge.
Banana fish!
Who's your hugger buggy?
I can, that's cheeseburger.
I love how a lot of the comedic characters in this show have their own silly quirks that just make you laugh at the absurdity of the situations they deal with. And this is mostly from season 1 of this show. I haven't even covered season 2 or 3, because in season 2, the show gets even more crazier with the Omega Key search, to the arrival of characters such as Smokescreen, Dreadwing, and the Decepticons. And damn, Dreadwing was done dirty in this show. Rest in peace to this con. It makes me wonder if he stayed alive, if he was ever going to fight Megatron, because he was planning to kill Starscream for the death of his twin Skyquake, and possibly leave the Decepticons, but we will never know. There's this really good subplot where Bulkhead and Hardshell have this insane battle on a volcano, and Bulkhead beats him, but he's like really fucked up, and as he goes in the ground bridge thinking he's safe, Hardshell out of nowhere shoots him right in the back, and he ends up fucking paralyzed. Like,
the fuck? See, this is bullshit. It's fuck.
And I love Bulkhead. He kicks a lot of ass in this show. So seeing him out of commission for a while was pretty shocking. When Miko and Wheeljack both seek revenge against Hardshell. It was crazy because Hardshell kicks Wheeljack's ass easily. And out of everyone, Miko is the one that kills him. Like a human defeating the king of the Insecticons?
You think I can get you laugh?
A thing that they did with the show that I really loved was having humans be antagonists. In the show, there was this human group called Mech, an undercover organization that basically wanted to create and build Transformers for their own. And they do some really messed up shit in this show. Like they capture Breakdown, drill his eye out, later on kill him and use his corpse, steal Bumblebee's T-Cog, and make an Optimus Prime clone to attack the Autobots and kill Prime. Like, it was crazy. And what was even crazier was the season 2 finale. Like, if you think season 1 was crazy, nah, bro. The finale for season 2.
And when I tell you, man, it was a shit show. It was a shit show.
So basically, after Optimus destroys the Omega Lock, the Decepticons find the Autobots' secret base, and they literally plant their capital in front of their base. And they destroy the base with Optimus inside.
I never imagined it would end like this.
Neither did I, old friend.
This is the place, all right.
This was the place.
United we stand, divided they fall.
I couldn't even tell you how hard this scene hit as a kid. Like, I was depressed after this episode, my guy. And when season 3 starts, it's honestly really depressing. It kind of reminded me of Avengers Endgame, where the heroes have lost and they're barely holding on to hope. But here, we see Optimus dying, Ratchet giving up, and everyone is scattered and on the run throughout the globe. Until Ultra Magnus shows up, and he gets his ass beat by Megatron. Damn. But then one of the best and most badass character pull-ups of all time happens.
An Autobot signal, but it's airborne.
I know that color scheme. Wait, he can't fly, can he?
I'm telling you, this show has the sauce. Not only does he pull up bigger and with a minigun, but he flies now. Shit goes so hard, man. Once Optimus destroys their new capital, Shockwave pulls up, and literally Megatron is like, "My insane homie be back." And some of you are like, what are you talking about? It's just Shockwave. No. I don't think you understand. Shockwave himself turns the tide of the war this season. There's actually a really good video by Mr. Normal Person with one of the best titles I've ever seen. It's a great video, so definitely check it out and learn exactly who Shockwave is. And I'm not kidding, literally because of Shockwave's appearance. He changes the status quo of the show. There's a reason why Season 3 of the show renames itself Beast Hunters. And that's because in like 2 minutes, Shockwave cooks and creates this.
I present to you, my liege, the ultimate Autobot hunter.
And shit gets even more crazier when it turns out that he can transform, and he names himself Predaking. And this dude right here is insane. He literally kicks Optimus's ass, no sweat, brutalizes and beats both Wheeljack and Ultra Magnus. And by the way, this fight is in my personal top favorite fights of all time. Like, just look at how insane and hard this fight goes. Then he smashes Magnus's hand clear off, beats Ratchet near to death, and holds his own against Megatron. All this happens in the span of like 6 episodes. I'm not kidding, bro. And yeah, Season 3 is the shortest of the whole show, having only 13 episodes instead of 26. But they really do go all out. It kind of reminded me of Star Wars The Clone Wars, where every season the show was close to cancellation, so they literally were just trying new things and going more insane and innovative. Prime was doing the exact same thing. And what's amazing is that each season tops itself, and the season finales top themselves as well. In my opinion, the season finale of this show is the best episode of the series by far. So after Megatron defeats Predaking, the Autobots attack the Decepticon ship.
If Optimus Prime wishes to wage a battle for the fate of both Earth and Cybertron, then I shall oblige him. This will be our last stand.
And you already know shit is gonna go down after saying that. So while everyone is attacking each other, Soundwave gets trapped in the Shout Dimension, which is basically in between time. Megatron and Optimus brawl it out, of course. Ratchet gets disrespected by Shockwave.
Meanwhile...
Pack light. Pack light. Oh. Pack smart.
But literally out of nowhere, this happens. Even after all these years, this scene still makes me cry, to be honest. Then Optimus straight up goes insane, beating the fuck out of Megatron until this. I'm telling you, Megatron is him! But above all else, the most amazing, unexpected thing happens.
Prepare to join your scout in the All-Spark.
Megatron!
You took my voice. You will never rob anyone of anything ever again.
Watching the season finale for the first time as a kid, I lost my mind seeing this. And it's honestly perfect. Like, throughout the whole show, hell, even before this show, Megatron fucked over Bumblebee the most. He was the one that made Bumblebee mute. He invaded Bumblebee's mind and caused him to go rogue and revive Megatron. So having Bumblebee be the one that ends Megatron is so satisfying, and it makes the most sense. And on top of that, he gets his voice back.
Bumblebee.
Your voice.
My voice? What are you... My voice? Ratchet, I have my pipes back.
Yes, we noticed.
So immediately afterwards, with the leftover cyber matter, the Autobots want to return to fix Cybertron, as they say their goodbyes to their human allies. And it's very emotional. I think the goodbye that hit me the most was Bumblebee and Raph, because even though he was mute the whole show, Raph was the only person who understood him, and their goodbye is simple, yet perfect.
Raph.
I know, B. You don't need to say anything.
I never did.
So the show ends with Optimus looking back at their human family they've made along the way, looking at him as he carries on. If you guys didn't know, there is actually a sequel movie to the show called Predacons Rising, where the escapees, Starscream and Shockwave, create 2 new Predacons. And Megatron gets revived and returns to Cybertron.
What are we supposed to call him, huh? Megacron? Unitron?
Really? That's your biggest issue right now.
Right. All right, good. So what's the game plan?
And this movie is pretty good. I really liked how it literally was an extended 1-hour episode, with Bumblebee leading the team and having Megatron creating an army of zombified beasts as the Predacons side with the Autobots to help save Cybertron. But Megatron now is insanely OP. Like, no joke, he literally disrespects Predaking in 2 hits. Before, there was a whole fight, but only 2 hits now? That's crazy, bro. He even knocks Optimus down with 1 hit. But if the show's ending is extremely satisfying, the movie's ending is perfect. So of course, they save Cybertron, but not only do they destroy Unicron, but Megatron actually admits his wrongs, and he disbands the Decepticons, leaving into the unknown forever.
Unite all Decepticons, and once again grind Cybertron under your mighty heel!
No!
What? Why?
Because I now know the true meaning of oppression, and have thus lost my taste for inflicting it.
You've clearly been traumatized, Master. A good power down and a stroll around the smelting pit will put you back in touch with your inner warlord.
Enough! The Decepticons are no more, and that is final.
And out of all the versions of Megatron, and he does become an Autobot in the IDW comics and an Earthspark, this is easily the best, because Megatron was proven wrong by once again forced into being a slave and being reminded what it was like to be oppressed and abused for power. And to top it all off, Knockout becomes an Autobot, which I really wish we could have seen more of, but it's all good. But the best part is Optimus gives us probably the best speech he's ever gave out of his whole character history.
On this day, every sentient being possesses the capacity for change. I ask only this of you, fellow Autobots. Keep fighting the noblest of fights.
You can count on us to keep the peace.
Above all, do not lament my absence. For in my spark, I know that this is not the end, but merely a new beginning. Simply put, another transformation.
And he gives his body and spark to revive Cybertron. And we see a new life sparks rise as a new age starts on Cybertron, as there can be new life on the planet. And that's how Transformers Prime ends. And Robots in Disguise doesn't exist, I don't care.
Fuck out of here with that shit. Okay.
Also, fun fact, since the show is considered part of the aligned continuity, it is technically connected to War and Fall of Cybertron, the video games. And there are some Prime comics that have the Dinobots, and I think that's pretty cool. There are prequel novels and comics for the show. And they're really good, like they're a really fun read. As a matter of fact, TransformersOne is basically almost adapting Transformers Exodus, as that is the story of when Megatron was a gladiator and Optimus was Orion, which is something that I always wanted to see be adapted, the before and start of the war. I just really hope that TransformersOne is really good, as it does look interesting and I heard there's gonna be a massive tone shift during the movie, which I hope so, because the start of the war is very heartbreaking and dreadful. And apparently during the screening there was a standing ovation, so we shall see. And also, the music composer for this show is coming back for Transformers One, which is amazing because the soundtrack and music for this show is perfect. So my fingers are crossed for Transformers One. I will definitely see it, and who knows? Maybe I'll do a video about the movie and talk about it. Maybe. We shall see. Ever since the show ended, I've always held Transformers to this standard because this show spoiled us hard with how great and personal the story was. Even today, I think about the show and think about what could have been with the characters that were even cut from the show, and even some plot lines. Like apparently characters such as Ironhide, Blur, and Barricade were cut from the show. I think Ironhide isn't necessary because we already have Bulkhead and Wheeljack, who are amazing, but I think Blur and Barricade would have been very cool. Since Blur is the fastest Autobot to ever exist, it would be interesting to see how he could fit in with Team Prime. And since Barricade is Megatron's lieutenant, and he was also a former gladiator with Megatron, it would have been great to see him join the Decepticons in the show. And he'd probably want to take down Optimus and Bumblebee on his own because he has beef and hatred for those two. But either way, I'm still very grateful for the show that we got. This show means a lot to me. It's one of my personal favorites. If you have not seen this show, honestly, I highly recommend this show to anyone who has not seen it. Even if I spoiled the fuck out of it, it's still a very fun watch. I hope this show touches and brings good things to you, like how it did for me, and how it gave me an eternal love for Transformers as a whole. So, I'm going to give Transformers Prime an easy 9.5 out of 10. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have seen this show, I would love to know your thoughts and experience with this show in the comments. And hey, even if you want to talk about Transformers at all, definitely type it in the comments. I'd love to read about it. Thank you guys for watching if we're sticking around in this long video. Have a good one. See you all in the next one. Till all are one. Time to replay this banger on Roblox. Goodbye.